In distant times, a brave young girl defied her grandfather's warning and ventured into the mountains at dawn. The maiden wanted to burn the straw of the moor, to feed the cattle, and thus avoid the punishment imposed by the foreman on her father. As she explored the moor, she found herself surrounded by straw dancing in the wind. All around her, she saw frightened rabbits and bold birds. Despite being alone, she took out a big candle and some matches from her multicolored bag. However, just as she was about to light the fire, she felt a mysterious touch on her shoulder and turned her head only to discover there was no one nearby her.
Rising to her feet and scanning her surroundings, the young woman resumed her task but found herself in the presence of a diminutive man dressed in a poncho, shigra, and an imposing hat. He gave her a broad smile as he warned her, "Don't burn Pachamama." The two began to converse, and the little man gained the young woman's trust. The next day, when her parents did not see her return, they began their search. There was no sign of the girl in the moor. The search spread through the mountain and the village, but no clues were found as to where she might be. A day later, the young girl mysteriously appeared on the trail with a peculiar smile and a bright gaze that puzzled her parents. In recounting her experience, she caused a stir in the community by matter-of-factly mentioning that she had spent the night with a small man who had repeatedly brought her happiness. Although her parents thought of this part of the story, they insisted that the man was known in the community.
In response to the young woman's history, the community subjected her to the purification ritual with cold water, needles, and bindings, followed by the burning of the moor in the evening. In the meantime, they looked for the girl in their hut underworld. The girl became pregnant. Her family didn't stop looking for the person responsible. One night, a small man with big hat, poncho, and a shigra arrived at the maiden's house. His presence was barely perceptible through his shadow and the wind that entered the room. Shortly thereafter, they announced the disappearance of the young girl. The girl's grandfather, filled with sadness, attributed the incident to the Chuzalongo and warned that they should not look for her, as she would take on a new life.
Chuza, which means small, and Longo, which translates as a child. According to the doctor in History of America, Fernando Hidalgo Nistri, the Chuzalongo has been described, almost anonymously, as a kind of gnome or goblin that lives in the forest, in the haze of the moors, in the depths of the eyes of water, or the solitary ravines. The most characteristic feature is its stature that, according to witnesses, does not exceed 1 meter, according to his text published Diners Magazine. Hidalgo Nistri points out that this being is also described as a hairy being, some says, has ears that stick out from its shoulders, and then even say that there is a Chuzalongo that walks with its feet upside down.
This is one of the accounts of the legend of the Chuzalongo, collected by Laura. Even today, says the media, there are people from the communities that settle on the suburbs of the Chimborazo volcano, who believe that the birth of an albino child is an indication of the descendants of the Chuzalongo. There is also a story about 2 young daughters of a farmer who were tending cattle high up in the mountains. When the father did not see them return, he went to look for them and found a fatal scene. His daughters were dismembered, and nearby, a small creature was running away. Other histories tell that this character usually feasts with the men of the countryside to demonstrate his strength. Does he know about a mythical Chuzalongo indicate that he is naked and does not like to be seen. So to escape his presence, the person must remove a piece of clothing and throw it. The Chuzalongo will look for the garment, and in the meantime, the person will be able to flee.